Brodes Media.
Who doesn't love baseball? They say baseball's romantic. Well, I'm not horny watching this team. Welcome on in, everybody. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button as well. I greatly appreciate all of your support. There is a way to take me on the road with you. That's right. Spotify, podcast, Apple Podcast. Don't know why I just jumbled my words there. Apple Podcast, Spotify. If you search Sports Talk with Brodes and leave a 5-star rating and a review, that will mean so much. Thank you all for all the crazy support. And lastly, if you are interested in Coffee with Brodes live streams, which we do twice a week here on YouTube, if you join the memberships, you get access to that as well as our Discord channel. All the information is down below in the description. You guys are the best human beings in the world, and enjoy the show. What do you know? The team falls flat in another game one of a series. It's what they do. It's who they are. That final game against Seattle meant diddly fucking squat. You lose 5-3 to LA. And I thought Rob Thomson was a disgrace. Now, let me be very clear. Trey Turner sucked. Bryce Harper with 3 strikeouts again. Brandon Marsh was not lovely. So there were plenty of reasons why, from a pure baseball level, why things went wrong. With that said, one thing that I've been consistently screaming about is the lack of urgency. Rob is not a fiery guy, but you do have bullets in the chamber. There are times when it's worth it to maybe be a bit outrageous to try and inspire the group. You have to know when those pockets in the season pop up. Rob did exactly what all these hitters do on the club right now. He struck out. Forget the 9th inning. We'll get to that in a second. Not pinch hitting JT Realmuto for Garrett Stubbs is a disgrace. That is managing 101. How you go down with your life on the line with a 188 hitter. Not that JT Realmuto has been great since coming back from his injury, but it's about putting your team in the best position possible. The best position possible between JT and Stubbs is JT. And they're so afraid to put him back out there because they want to give him a full day off, yet he's about to catch 9 innings today, 9 innings tomorrow. You can't ask him to give you 1 at-bat after Nick Castellanos gets you a single to lead off the 9th. The part that's terrible about it is I had to watch Stott, of all people, first pitch swing, nothing. Followed by Austin Hayes, first pitch swing, nothing. And then Stubbs says, why not? Why not? Let's add on to this whole first pitch swinging disaster. I'll do the same thing. Dude, if you're Rob Thomson, that needs to be a team meeting at the hotel that night. And bring that 9th inning up on the film and say, yo, never again. Never again. I know for a damn fact he's not doing that, but he should. But anyway, that's not even number 1 on my list. The inability to realize how to manage from a basic level. Where I think he really lost his mind was when he stayed in the dugout picking his nose in the 8th inning. Let me run this through. All right. It's the 8th inning in a 1-run game. The score is 4-3 at the time. Kyle Schwarber and Alec Boehm both are on. 1-run game. Brandon Marsh works a 3-1 count. Good job, Marshy. Here comes the pitch. High. Starts to undo all of his equipment. Good job. Load the bases up for Nick Castellanos. That's what we need. Your best hitter right now up at the plate with the game on the line and bases loaded. You heard me correctly. I said your best hitter at the time, which is sad. And it tells you how brutal this offense has become. Oh, wait, what? Huh? You're telling me the pitch that was 5 feet high was called a strike? So Marsh didn't walk? So you missed out on that chance for Nick to be at the plate? Rob, that's your cue. I want to see spit flying. I want to see your face red as hell. I want to see dirt in the air. The ump robbed your team of potential life when you're spiraling out of control. If that's not when you are willing to push a button and to get uncharacteristic, to try to inspire, to try to add fuel to the bunch, then when is? Come on, Rob. When is? I'll tell you for free. Right then and there. You can't stay quiet. You can't allow for that to happen. Your team is playing flat every single time they go to the park, especially in game ones. And you, Rob, were the one to tell the team we have to improve in that area. And since you made those claims, they haven't been able to at all. Listen to these last 7 series openers. Against the Oakland A's, they lost 6-2 when they scored first. Then against the Pittsburgh Pirates, they lost 8-7 with 2 3-run leads. They lost to the Twins 7-2, and they scored the first 2 runs. So Minnesota answers with 7 unanswered. They lost to Cleveland 3-1. They lost to the Yankees 14-4. They lost to the Mariners 10-2. And then they lost to the Dodgers 5-3 after scoring the first 2 runs. That is unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm not going to blame Aaron Nola for this. I'm really not. Tyler Glasnow is no joke of a starter. He went 6, allowed 3. Aaron Nola's no joke of a starter. He went 6, allowed 4 against the Dodgers on the road. The 1 inning did suck, and he was getting tattooed. Listen to this exit velocity. 112, 113, 108, 112. And it sucks because the Phillies surprisingly took a 2-0 lead after the first inning that happened. When Schwarber, Turner, Harper all went down, he thought this guy might throw a complete game shutty, if not a legitimate perfect game. That's how locked in he looked in the first, and then you're able to, scrap a couple runs across the board. Bryson Stott, after a Nick Castellanos triple, which was really misplayed by the center fielder, but you got to take advantage of missed opportunities. A wild pitch allowed Bryson Stott to do a little bit of how do you do. So, look, you're up 2-0, and it's surprising that you are, and then Aaron Nola gives it right up, and Teoscar Hernandez hit a 2-run blast. They were up 4-2, but Aaron Nola was the farthest thing from the issue. The number one issue is, I think, Rob Thomson missing out on a golden chance to try to inspire the fellas. And then number 2 was the lack of execution from your hitters. Those singles and the home run by Bryce that happened at the end of the Seattle series meant nothing. It meant nothing. Even with this double, when you strike out 3 times in this game, it hurts. It hurts big time. Any of that ascending positive vibes gets deflated like you're popping a damn balloon. It's gone. That double is irrelevant when it's sandwiched in between so many Ks. And I still can't believe they went with Garrett Stubbs with the game on the line. It's embarrassing. Now, let's listen to Nick Castellanos postgame because he had some thoughts that made me scratch my head. Take a listen.
I think we're grinding right now. You know, like I think that we're just in a funk. And, but I will say, like, our dugout was very good today. All our attention, I think, was more on the field than it was on our iPads. I think that we were more in the competition again. I mean, it was a good baseball game, right? A couple things here, a couple things there, and it changes. But I feel like they beat us today. We didn't beat ourselves. We didn't lose, right? Like we played a good baseball game. We also have to realize that that's a good baseball team over there.
All right, so many things, and I'm really annoyed by all of them, quite frankly. So I want you to be more in the iPads. I don't want you to be less in the iPads. I need you to be more in the iPads because you guys don't know what the hell you're doing at the plate. I want you to study how pathetic you look in the 9th inning. I want you to see how embarrassing it is in the 6th when you got a couple guys on. You only score 1 run, and it's now 4-3. You should have tied that ball game up at least, at the minimum, tie it up 4-4. But you let the Dodgers escape still holding on to a 1-run lead, and that was enough. Until, of course, Shohei Ohtani gives the added insurance run, and now it's 5-3. And then, of course, you were never going to come back from that because 1-run deficit is scary enough. To get 1 run across the board is nearly impossible, let alone 2, and if not 3, to actually steal it before extra innings would nearly be the tallest ask you could ever ask ever in the history of baseball right now. I feel like the Chicago White Sox. Truly, there's a meme going around of someone saying, please, just win 1, please. I mean, they basically are on, like a 21-game losing skid? That's what this feels like. It's a disgrace. But hearing Nick, the problem with this team is what I keep hearing from the manager and the entire clubhouse is, we're too talented for this to continue. And when he goes, like, this is baseball, we're just in a funk right now, unless you actually admit to yourself we have a problem, then this is going to continue. There's no urgency. They don't believe that there's a problem. They just keep trotting it out. And now the bar is set so low that Nick feels at least we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot and the Dodgers beat us. We didn't really play poorly. It's just the other team beat us. What? You guys are supposed to be one of the best teams in baseball, all right? The best team in the National League. That's what you're supposed to be. And you're telling me now you have all sorts of what do they call that? They say it's a moral victory that you didn't shoot yourself in the foot for this loss? Which, first off, I don't even believe. They're delusional. Price striking out, even Marsh, all right? As much as I'm aggravated about what happened in the 8th for the umpire sucking at his job again, reality is that pitch he struck out on, you got to have more discipline. That's 5 feet off the plate, dude. So I get it. It's very emotional, and you're upset about what happened in the call previously, but it's a full count with a couple guys on, with the game on the line. I need you to have better discipline. So you shot yourself in the foot. You struck out a lot. This team struck out a ton. And it wasn't just because of Tyler Glass now. How many times have we seen pitches with this group that they just foul back and they just miss? There's hittable pitches here, people, and you're just not doing it. And then the ninth wasn't some electricity by their closer. The 9th was because you guys are terrible at what you're trying to do. Once again, when it comes to my frustration with Rob, I think Rob is a good manager, managing poorly. So I'm not calling for his head. As you could imagine, phone calls on the radio are definitely screaming that Rob needs to go. I took 5 straight calls this morning, actually, that said they might not make the playoffs. I'm like, whoa, 5 straight calls so they might not make the playoffs? I'm not there yet. For the first time this season on Saturday afternoon, it was after they lost 10-2 to Seattle, was the first time I was doubting if they would win the division. I'm making the playoffs, especially with the new format, is a whole nother can of worms that I'm not ready for yet because I don't think we're there yet. But guess what? If this continues, the trajectory sure is there. I'm just annoyed by that answer by Nick because I think it shows a sign of a bigger problem, which is the way they're looking at this is bizarre. It's strange. They feel nothing's wrong. At least we're not shooting ourselves in the foot. This is fine. It was a good baseball game. They just beat us. Not really, though, dude. Like, that's what you took away from that game? That's what you took away. Not the piss poor approach at the plate, the manager falling asleep at the wheel and going down swinging with Garrett Stubbs. Here's another part of this. The lack of urgency thing. Austin Hayes is not an impactful bat. The point of the deadline from Dave Dombrowski's perspective was to get impact players, specifically an impact bat. Austin Hayes is just a fine little bottom of the order guy. Can give you a single here, can give you a single there, maybe a couple singles in a game. He doesn't stink. He's not an impact bat. And quite frankly, he's not an everyday player either. Yet the manager is screaming that he is. They failed at the deadline. The lack of urgency has failed from top to bottom. Here's another thought I had. No, sorry. Let me rephrase that. Some caller brought this up, and it sparked something that I didn't think of. Don't want to take credit. Gregory Soto recently said, can't do it. My initial feeling, and my gut still feels this way, is that's just Gregory Soto hoping to be a closer or a back end of the rotation guy, or back end of the bullpen guy, I should say. And once he realized that that duty went to Jeff Hoffman, Matt Strahm, Jose Alvarado, he was falling in the depth chart. You pick up Estevez, and then they go acquire Tanner Banks. All right, listen. It's not for me here. Please send me elsewhere. And I think it's more just he had higher expectations of being a reliable arm here. To the Phillies' credit, they gave him every opportunity, and he failed miserably. That's on him. Is there something to the lack of communication with Soto? Or is this truly just, dude, you had plenty of outings. You didn't perform. Sorry. Other guys did. Hoffman, Strahm, and even an up and down Alvarado, better than you. Estevez at the deadline, better than you. I'm sorry, but that's the nature of the beast here. You didn't perform. Or was there something behind the scenes that was going on? And they were having dialogue and they didn't seem to be on the same page. And he goes, I'm out of here. I don't know. I tend to lean towards this is just a Soto issue. But when you are this bad and showing this much horrible play, I gotta wonder what's happening behind the scenes. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's strictly guys can't hit right now, and it's literally that. But I have to dissect every detail of this team when it gets this tragic. There's more. Did trading Seranthony Dominguez ruin the vibes? I got two ways of thinking about this. One, either Dave Dombrowski did not realize the impact of Seranthony to this core just because he's been here forever. There was a time this guy's slider was gross and closing out big playoff games for you. It was him and Jose Alvarado as a 1-2 stellar punch. I don't think Soto had that effect with the fellas. Definitely not Christian Pachette. So did Dave Dombrowski misread the room? That's one side of it. The other side would be if Bryce Harper and Nick Castellanos and Stott and Bohm and JT and Schwarber, if all these guys failed because their hearts were broken due to Seranthony Dominguez no longer being here, you got frauds and softies in your room. So I don't think that this means anything. I have to at least open up every door. Even if the possibility is a super small percentage, Everything deserves time, even if it's a second or 2 or 5 or a minute or 2 minutes. Because we're confused. And I'd be doing myself a disservice and you all a disservice if I didn't explore everything that we know. I just thought those were interesting points when they were brought up. I'll tell you where I thought the game really could have swayed, though. 6th inning, Bohm got the ground out to make it 4-3. They really needed another one there. They truly, truly did. They truly, truly did. All right, we'll take some of your anytime hotline calls here in a second. First, today's show is sponsored by the Online Fitness Training Camp, which is presented by Chris Gates Fitness. Training Camp is an online fitness community designed specifically for sports fans to help you get results with your health and fitness without cutting out everything you love, like drinking beer and tailgating for football games this fall. In Training Camp, you'll get all the support you need to build muscle, burn fat, and stay consistent with your workouts. And at the same time, you'll instantly join a community of like-minded people doing the same thing. With Chris as your coach, you'll get top-notch guidance. In addition to being a massive football fan, Chris has been coaching people online for over 6 years, and his clients consistently get results by implementing a flexible approach to diet and exercise. So if you're interested in getting brand new workout programs every month, fitness challenges every month to help push you to develop healthy habits, challenges where you can win all sorts of awesome prizes, question and answers with Chris, and so much more, make sure you check out chrisgatesfitness.com/training camp or hit the link in the description to sign up. You can use promo code Brodes to get a discount on your first month. Do not be a fool. Get started today. Make sure you check out Chris Gates and his training camp. Let's get some lighthearted, funny content out of the way to try and shake off the filth. We may have gotten the best content of Phillies broadcast history. Listen to what happened on WIP in the middle of this one.
And that one is in for a strike. It's 3-1.
Well, just as Bryce went with his pants up, I'm not sure I've seen Garrett with his pants down. That didn't sound right, did it?
It sure did not. Here's the 3-1. And a swing and a miss.
Oh, sometimes things happen up here. What I mean by he doesn't have his pants folded up under the knee there.
I thought that was pretty good. When I heard that, I was actually cracking up and in tears. So that happened, for whatever it's worth. That happened. I'm trying to keep it loose, people. All right? Because, well, I'm going to lose my mind. Really. I just spent 3 hours screaming about this guy in the middle of the night. I come home, 6:30 in the morning, tired as hell. I'm not done. I could go for 9 hours on this crap. So once in a blue moon, I got to just throw something in there to try and make me chuckle. Because if not, I'm not going to make it. All right, let's go to the Anytime Hotline.
Hey, Brodes, I don't know what is going on with this team. I understand it is a slump, but it's always something. Like every game, it's like either the batting isn't there or the pitching isn't there or the bullpen's off. It's always something in this weird slump we're in. I don't know what we can do to get out of this. I think it's just a matter of time, but the one thing that's worrying me is that all you're doing is giving the Braves and even the Mets more time to get themselves together, and the only thing that's saving you is them stumbling over themselves. I don't know what they got to do. I mean, you losing 14 out of 19 ain't good. The only benefit, I'm trying to remain positive, is that, hey, if every other good team this season is slumping at some point, you got to think the Phillies are going to snap out of it, right? You would think. I mean, I've never remembered a Phillies season where they haven't gone through a slump. I don't know. I'm just trying to remain positive. Thanks.
I appreciate the call. I think it's time to panic. I really do. And I wouldn't just say that to say it. I wouldn't just make that up for any sort of, I don't know, whatever, just being outrageous type of take. I truly believe it's time to panic. There's something wrong here, all right? We've been around a lot of teams. We've seen a lot of different units, a lot of different rosters, a lot of different clubhouses, locker rooms, whatever sport it is. And there's always some troubling things that happen when a downfall is upon us or when you're in the middle of one. And there's just something that's off. I'm telling you, there's something that's off. And, you bring up that other teams are winning this and that. You know what? As much as I have paid attention to the Braves and I have paid attention to the Mets and I've seen what other teams around the league have been doing, reality is it's all irrelevant unless the Phillies snap out of it. So right now, my sole purpose is just to figure out a way to get their head out of their damn asses. That's what it is. They have to figure it out. Because if the other teams are playing hot and the Phillies still stink forever, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And I don't want to know if anybody actually truly thinks it wouldn't be a big deal if the Phillies lose the division and are only a wild card team. And I'm sure there will be a ton of dopes that just think that, we've done it before. Or, anybody could get hot. You'd be a fool to think this team could drop where they were 20 plus games over 500 to just barely over 500 by the end of this thing and being a third or second wild card team. That would be tragic, but I already know that there would be idiots to think that everything would be fine and at least they escaped having a bye week, because that would just be great. It doesn't matter about other teams right now. Really, it doesn't. It doesn't. It only matters, or the Phillies. That's what only matters. The Phillies. That's what only matters. And that's what they need to focus on, is themselves. Can't worry about other things right now. Maybe they are worrying, and that's a problem, because I don't think they do well with pressure. When it was 2022 and there was no pressure, they went on and went for a crazy run. But they weren't expected to do anything. It's easy then. When they had pressure to win in the NLCS against Arizona at home, Game 6, Game 7, with Nola and Wheeler, they held the bats too tight and their offense went terrible. They don't do well with pressure. And right now they're facing pressure, and they're doing horrendous. They don't do well with pressure, and that starts with leadership. They've lost 7 of their last 8 games. Let that sink in. Gross.
Yeah, bro. This Dodgers series is just making me nervous. Got done watching the first game, and I can't believe I blew off my girlfriend to be able to watch this game. What was I thinking? I knew the Phils weren't going to get it done. Before Shohei's home run in the 8th, I called it. I knew it was going to happen. I just had this feeling. The Phillies are taking years off my life. I can't even get out of bed anymore. I have no motivation to hang out with anybody, to eat. I can't even sleep without seeing a montage of every subpar MLB team just going yard on all of our aces.
Stop that. Listen, I know I'm always over the top, so I'm taking that tongue in cheek, and if we actually seriously have issues here where we can't get out of bed, call me. But for right now, I'll take it for face value that you're just kind of having some fun here. Blowing off the girlfriend, though. You got to find a way to do both, no? There's a few options you can do. You can hang out with the girlfriend, throw a game on the iPad while you watch a movie, you know what I'm saying, do a little bit of that. Or she's cool with it and you just put it on the big screen and you just hang out and, There's ways to make both work. This team right now is not worth skipping out with the wife. I'm just saying. A lot more fun things can happen with the significant other than what you get in return on your investment here with this Phillies product right now. If it was a situation where this team was clocking in 13 wins in a row, they were going for their 14th, and you said, hey, babe, I love you to death. We can go to nifty 50s tomorrow. They have an off day. But for now, I need to see them get the 14th. I got all the love in the world for you with that mentality. But during the ugliness, get your ass up, put some water on your face, brush the teeth, and go hang out with the missus. You know what I'm saying? Don't let this team beat you down that much where you don't hang out with the missus. It'll help you. She deserves it, and you deserve it. You deserve it too. You put yourself through hell with this team. Flip him the double bird. Say you're not worth it. She's more worth it anyway. Remember that. We'll take one more call.
Brodes. What up? What up? It's 5:20 in the morning. Just got up and watched the highlights. And what the fuck is Rob Thomson doing?
Good question.
Why aren't you pinch hitting for JT?
Good question.
But that's just icing on the shit cake. These guys can't hit. They don't know how to fundamentally hit in situations that call for punching the ball the other way or a fucking bunt. And I'm sorry, you got to get Garrett Stubbs out of here. I can't watch this guy hit anymore. He's got the physique of a little leaguer. He can't hit. And he's just an automatic out. He's just an automatic out. He doesn't work walks. He swings at terrible pitches. Get him out of here!
Well, that's your vibe guy. That's your vibe guy. I wonder if he's going to make a comment about going out to the Arizona Diamondbacks pool. Sitting 188 or so. Listen, I've been on this before and I'll say it again. The backup catcher argument isn't one that I'm really willing to spend that much time on, but maybe it reflects a bigger issue. Hear me out. If Marchand is better than Stubbs, which it seems he's got more intrigue, especially with the pop of his bat, and they feel they're going with Stubbs for other reasons, they are not putting the team in the best position to win. That's a Dave Dombrowski thing. If you don't go get a serious bat at the deadline to help the outfield, you're not putting this team in the best position to win. That's a Dave Dombrowski thing. Rob Thomson, leaving Stubbs in the game and not putting JT in the game. Not putting the team in the best position to win. Maybe it's a cultural issue here from top to bottom. And maybe that Stubbs-Marchand debate actually shines light on a different layer of it all. You know what I mean? So take that for what it is. All right, we'll see if they could bounce back. Talk to you all tomorrow. Appreciate it.